Hey everybody, hope you're well and welcome back to the channel. It's James here with the Part-Time Entrepreneur, and today we're going to look at the Coinvest ICO Review. Now, a lot of you will realise that I'm not a YouTuber. I just do a lot of these videos to sort of document first my journey, also to obviously be able to unveil certain coins to my groups, and this is just the easiest medium for me to do that. So any likes, comments and stuff, I so appreciate them, I really do. And I just hope that you get great value out of the videos that I'm doing for you. So what is the problem that Coinvest are trying to fix? Well, the first thing is that crypto investing isn't that easy. And a great example is I had some friends over at the weekend. We were sort of catching up. They've obviously seen my Facebook and all these types of things. And one guy is already in. One of my best mates is already in. And the other two are, again, very good friends. Questions, all the rest of it. We tried to get them set up. And you know, you've got to go to Coinbase, and then you've got to set up another account, then you've got to transfer it across, and they just started to get confused, and they just asked if there was an easier way. And I just had to say no, because that's the truth. So they're trying to find an easier way that will appeal to the masses, to make it so simple that they don't really even have to think about it, and they don't have to think about smart contracts and all these types of things. They can just get on with getting into the platform, doing a bit of trading, and away they go. The other thing is that you've got hedge funds, and generally these are only for the super wealthy. Now, I know this quite personally because I've just recently designed a crypto hedge fund for an investment group in Switzerland. So I'm very aware of, you know, some of the limits. So, you know, for this particular one, you know, you need 125,000 euros just to even come and speak to these guys before you even sort of like been able to invest and stuff. Now, the other thing is there's a whole plethora of these coming out. In America last year, there was 15 crypto hedge funds that came out. So it's starting to become incredibly fashionable. But again, they're aimed at the super wealthy. With this, you know, anybody can do it. Anybody can do it with any amount of money, which is great. And the other thing is, if we look at the average hedge fund return, it was 5.6%. So I thought I'd do a little bit of research, and obviously reading through the white paper, found that, you know, even the crypto funds were only returning 70%. And I was thinking, oh God, I do that in a day sometimes. So for me, I was just like, you know, there's a huge opportunity to come and fix this problem that they have. Now, before we go into the solution and, you know, all the other stuff that we're going to look at, I just thought I'd really just take a second to stop and just try and simplify this in the most simplest way possible. Now, when I first looked at Coinvest, I thought, oh, it's very much looks like Ethos, it's that type of thing. But when I started reading into the detail and really sort of understanding what they have, it's very much a virtual platform. Now, if you look at some of the information out there, you know, in other sort of commodities and other different places, you know, there's a £400 million virtual trading income from that annually. So, you know, it's a huge, huge marketplace. And I didn't really appreciate how much there was in terms of virtual trading. And this is sort of really one of the key USPs for these guys, is this virtual trading piece. And we'll talk about some of the advantages as we go through. So what is the solution that they're offering? So really they're making it very simple for the newbies coming into cryptocurrency to be able to, first of all, you know, have a portfolio of cryptocurrency and trade it, do withdrawals, smart contracts without really having to think about it too much, and then be able to take the coin and spend it on a debit card. So all those lovely profits that they're making, they can go spend it directly in the shops. It sounds very simple, and it sounds like a great solution, especially for people that can't be bothered with wallets and all these types of things. So how does that look visually? So let's break it down very quickly. So first of all, we've got the user. They create this virtual online portfolio, and obviously they're holding the coins at this point. That then creates smart contracts here, so for all those trades that you execute. And obviously when you close the trades and make some money, that will pay you back in the coins. Now the coins go back in your Coinvest app wallet, and you can just put them on your card and go and spend them. It's really that simple. So they've really sort of hit the nail on the head for anybody that's new and doesn't want to get involved in ICOs and all the rest of it. Because I know when I first started, I was banging my head against a brick wall trying to figure all this stuff out, because there was no videos, there was no YouTubers doing it, and it was incredibly hard actually to figure it out. But thankfully I did. So Coinvest have obviously here, they're benching themselves against some exchanges. and also some cryptocurrency funds as well. Now, some of the key things that Coinvest can bring to the table is the things that they're convenient. Now, there's no storage of investments as it's all just digital assets. So that takes away all of the pain of all these different wallets, potentially sending some Bitcoin to a Litecoin wallet and it disappearing forever and all these types of things. So you're not going to have those type of issues. The other thing, it's gonna have all the key functions. So you're going to be able to do shorting, and obviously we know with the futures market that's a big, maybe contentious issue that's coming up at the moment. We've seen the price of Bitcoin go up, and Litecoin and some of the others just go absolutely crazy. But we'll see what happens long term with the price, because that will be the key. And also you can do limit buys and the stuff that we'd normally expect. It's also going to be quite diverse, so it offers lots of different types of index funds. And you also get to create your own funds as well. And by doing that, you can self-manage them, and people can even invest in your funds, and you get a bit of kickback on it as well, which is pretty cool. And you're probably not surprised that it's all decentralized, and it's going to be run by the Coinvest smart contract. So what are the key benefits? Well, the first one is that you're going to get trading rewards. So if you're loyal to this platform and you keep using it on a regular basis, you will get rewarded with the coins. Now, you need the coins to be able to create your own fund as well. You also get trading profits. So obviously if you're doing very well and you're buying low, selling high, jobs are good, and you're going to earn some money that way. And also if people decide to invest in your fund, you'll also make that way too. You've also got copy trading as well. So, I mean, that's pretty much a standard function now in a lot of the platforms that are out there. So eToro would be a classic example where that is available. And also the coin value appreciation. So where does the token value come from? That will come from people, the adoption of it. So there'll be 40 million that will be released, that will be in circulation. And that will create the ecosystem. And obviously it will start pretty slow, I would have thought, and building momentum, especially when they get the platform up and running. And then we'll see the real coin sort of value at that point. So anything up until the platform opens up will be very speculative, in my opinion. Now here's the look and feel of what the wallets look like. At first glance, it feels a little bit like a bit of an Exodus wallet, and I quite like Exodus, so that's a tick in the box for me. Looks very simple, looks very user-friendly, and again, you've got all the different currencies that you can invest in, but you're just using the one Coinvest coin to be able to do it. So it's very, very simple. So one of the other key things that really stuck out for me was the Coinvest team. Now, for me, this is an incredibly strong team. Look at the white paper. There's a whole bunch of other people. I've just picked out a few people that I thought were key to their team. Now, the first one is obviously Damon. He's the founder. He is man and boy Microsoft. So he's been there from the very beginning all the way through to his higher management roles, doing everything that he was doing there. For me, that shows a very, very key thing. I've read something about leadership and different bits and pieces recently, and people that stay longer than 5 years within a company demonstrate certain leadership qualities. So for me, he fits a profile. Also, Byron, he's been in big blue chip companies for a very long time. It feels like these guys maybe met at Microsoft, because obviously Byron was at Microsoft. He's worked at American Airlines, AT&T. So I think that's probably the connection between these two, that he worked at Microsoft. But again, they're coming from very blue chipped, very structured, very organized companies. So I believe that they will bring that into their company and make it very structured and very timely. And they've got some ambitious things that they want to do, but I think they'll probably be able to deliver it with the team that they've got behind them. And obviously they've got some advisors. So the other guy that caught my eye was Peter Cashmore, and he is the CEO over at Mashables, which is a news source. So he's very much into technology and all those type of things. He did a whole bunch of research on this guy. In I think it was 2014, 2013, they raised 13.3 million for the Mashables. So he's got some connections. They know how to raise money and get projects up and running and make them successful. So that's the key thing with these groups of people, that they're able to execute and deliver on the things that they say they're going to do. So this is a bit of a guide in terms of what's happening over the next couple of years. So obviously we're going to get into the token sale obviously at the start of 2018. Obviously they've got the private beta going on as well. And in 2018, you know, they've got the public release. So I'd really like to see some sort of more honed dates in terms of when that's happening. Obviously the mobile platform support, I'd assume a lot of that stuff will come out at the same time. The debits accounts and also the Coinvest wallet APIs, and obviously that's going to allow you to use the coins and transfer them between people and spend them, etc. And in 2019, you know, they'll have the exchange ready and the Coinvest hardware wallets. Now this is a long-term project. This isn't a short-term. They've obviously got a whole bunch of people in place, but obviously they need the funding to really scale this up and really bring this to life. I think, you know, speed is of the essence because there's so many competitors coming out at the moment. As soon as like lending platforms was one, you had BitConnect and there was nothing for ages, and all of a sudden we had ETH Connect, and then it just went crazy. I must have seen about 30 different platforms come out. So I don't know if, you know, this is the first one and then in 6 months time we're going to see a whole bunch of others, but at the moment there's not, I can't find a real direct competitor to these guys. So that's a really good point to pull out. So if you want to get involved in the ICO, it's January the 14th, so there's a little bit of time before we start, and that's the pre-sale. The token supply will be 60 million coins. It'll be 300 coins per ETH. Now, if Ethereum keeps going the way it does, I can see Ethereum at $1,000 quite easily before this kicks off. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens at that point. But again, you know, looks like a fairly standard ICO coins that they're after, obviously in the amount that they're trying to go for as well. They're not being too greedy here either. So if you're an early bird to the ICO, you're going to get a 25% discount, which is pretty decent. That's good because I don't like to see anything more than 20 or 25%, because in those circumstances, I just see people dumping the stock straight after and running off with the profits. As we can see, the crowd sale, you know, it goes down to 10% bonus, and then they've got a market launch of about $1. Now, I think, you know, they're going to have to adjust some of these numbers because Ethereum's just going absolutely crazy at the moment. And by the time we get to this pre-sale, you know, Ethereum could be even $1,000 a coin. So what are the pros for this? Well, it's aimed at the masses, and it's just trying to create simplicity. Now, I know that the marketplace at the moment, if you take the traders and bits and pieces, that's only 5% of the market. They're trying to go after the 95% of the market, which is a very, very clever way of doing it. So I really like that, and I think that's a big pro for these guys. There's no KYC process required. Now, they can legally bypass this, as there's no exchange and there's no fiat currency and there's no assets. It's all run via the Coinvest coin. So they don't have to have any of these processes in place. You can also collect 50% of fees for those who invest in your fund. So you might be new to all this stuff and you can earn maybe an additional income by creating a good fund and people investing in it. So most people know on this channel, I love residual income. I think it's the best thing ever. And that could potentially be an additional income on top of your profits. They've also got margin borrowing. Pretty standard these days in terms of when you look at like Robinhood and some of the what I would call the other competitors, but they're not virtual trading, and there's many differences between these two. But you know, margin borrowing is very much a standard thing. But the biggest thing that sticks out for me is the strong team. You know, I believe that they've got the people in place to execute and deliver on this project, and that's the biggest key thing when I'm looking at investing. So recently, you know, couple of investments I've been looking at, I've been told, oh, don't worry about the team and all this sort of stuff, and I do, because those projects haven't got off the floor. So what are the cons? Now, the first one I believe is that this is a long-term project, but saying that, there's other long-term projects out there, and the coin prices are trading crazy. This would be one I would just tuck away for 6 to 8 months, even a year, and then come back to it. The other thing is obviously you can short the crypto. Now, obviously, we've got the futures market coming in, so you can really short the crypto, but you can virtually short the crypto with these guys. So that's pretty cool. A lot of these things are starting to become readily available, but again, they're going to be offering these options. And when they get to that point where they release, this stuff will be pretty standard. The next one is mass adoption. If you don't get a lot of people using the platform, then pretty much the coin has no value. But I think that they're very clever in the fact that they're not going after the 5% who are willing to go through the pain of having 25 wallets, trading 30, 40 coins and all the rest of it. That's a very select group. With these guys, it's just on, do it, but they need that mass adoption. So they need a real strong media campaign. They need to be all over that for this to really take off. And the other one is the trading fee. So you're virtually trading nothing as such, yet there's the trading fee. And obviously that builds into their profit plan of how they do it. And they're going to charge for margin trading as well. But they're up against some strong competition because obviously you've got, say, someone like Coinvest that offers 0 trading fees. And that might attract people away from the platform, potentially. But saying that, I know that obviously I've traded oil and different bits and pieces, and I'm paying £12 to maybe £7.50 for each trade, and that's to set the buy and to sell. So you're talking 24 quid. So you need to make a decent return before you even see some profit. So that some people may see this as a pro, that it is so low versus some of the stuff that they've had before, or if I'm looking at the view of actually where I trade now is 0 fees, so I wouldn't expect to pay fees. So that's what I put it in the con section here. So what is everybody else saying about Coinvest? So the first one is that ICO Bench give it 4.5. Now I've got to say, I was looking at this. I've been looking at this for a couple of weeks now, maybe 2-3 weeks, maybe longer. And I went on to ICO Bench, and the score wasn't that. It was a lot lower. Their ICO profile and team were very, very high scores, but vision was 3 and product was, I think it was 2.8 or 3 or something like that. So these numbers have changed. So I can only assume that someone has done some due diligence and additional research and amended that score to what I believe is actually a fair score. And Track ICO has given it a 5 out of 5. So some pretty decent scores so far. So what rating am I going to give Coinvest? Well, I'm going to give them the Bully Special Prize 8.6. And why? Because I just think these guys are the nuts. I think it's a very strong team. I think it's a very strong project. I think they are trying to get rid of all the complexity that is a barrier for some people coming into cryptocurrency, and just making it more mainstream for people to come and invest and do funds and in all these types of things. It's just, I really like the project. It's long term. That's probably the biggest thing I will call out here, but I really, really, really like the project. Now, if you're new to cryptocurrency and you want a bit of a head start, then I do have a course. There's a link in the descriptor. It's on Udemy. Come and check it out. I really appreciate the support, and it will just help you get started on your cryptocurrency journey. So if you'd like to follow me on Twitter, it's at @JamesBull_UK, and I'm going to start to do trade calls on there, so keep an eye out on that. I also have my free Facebook group as well, so it's PT Cryptocurrency Community. In there, again, I put some trade calls, and I put them there first before anywhere else. We have ICOs, loads of stuff in there, giveaways, all different bits and pieces. So come and join the community. Come and it'd be great to have you in there, and I look forward to seeing you on the next ICO review.